This is the Huawei MatePad 11.5 and today I'm going to share with you how easy it is to make annotations, on-screen annotations with Notes apps, how easy it is to take notes on websites, PDFs and so on and so forth, and how I've been using this tablet for the past few weeks, and some of them behind the scenes preparing some videos, taking notes, and in others just using it to share some of the content with you. For example, my solar system, where I do share the results in terms of solar generation and whatnot, and all the notes I've been doing on this tablet, which has some really interesting features. So going direct to the point, if I do something which is a favorite tool that I do have, like this, if I drag from the corner and then annotate, and have in mind that I have the system in Portuguese, I can annotate on anything that I want. So if I want to annotate here, and this is the Paper Mate tablet. It has a surface which is really awesome. It feels like paper. It's not exactly paper, so it's not the same as writing here, but the sensation is really awesome. It's not the same as a glossy display, and when I place my hands on a tablet, the palm rejection is so nice. And I've used some tablets, and I will share with you a practical example that in some cases I'm touching with a finger because I want to write here, and in some tablets it doesn't detect that it's a finger and it does a line like if it was with the pen. So the screen is incredible with this Paper Mate. Even the lights are diffused, so it's really great. Now we can do this on the main display, but probably useful is if we go to any website, and at this moment I'm on the Solar Assistant, so I'm measuring my solar PVs, which is something that I love and I share with you. So if I want to annotate on a website or on a PDF, for example, I can just grab here and press annotate, and once I do select that, it will grab the screen. At this moment it didn't save anything, but I can do any annotation, and I can say, so for today I've produced this, and this is the total of the week. I can share the battery, the grid and whatnot. So I can do all my calculations here in my notes so that I can study later, or if I'm a teacher, that I can prepare my class for tomorrow or something like that. Now, of course, the basic that we can do is change colors. So I've got these tools right over here where I can select any color. I can also select different kinds of pens with different pressures, the pencil, which is something really cool as well. So I can feel the pressure here. We can notice that if I apply less pressure, it looks something less noticeable, and then when we apply, it looks really awesome. We also have this one right over here that we can do this and highlight, and this one right over here. Now, usually what I do is use the basic one, but we have all these options here, but my favorite one and the one that I use most is this one right over here. Now, once I finish my notes, I can just save it, I can print it, I can share it with anyone. At this moment, I'm just going to say, no, it was a mistake, I don't want anything. So I don't have any note pending to delete, and this is something really cool. Now, let's go to see two apps. This one right over here, Notes, is the official Huawei app for notes, which is awesome, but has one thing that I don't like that much. So I'm using the Star Notes, which is really awesome in terms of the workflow, very similar to the Huawei Notes, where we can organize all the notes right over here, but has one thing in advantage that I will share with you in just a few moments. Taking a look at the Huawei app, first of all, if I go right over here for this folder, we can see that I've got quite a few things inside the folder, a few pages right over here, so I can change from one to another. And if I go back, we can open it up, and then we can organize with the things that we want. In this case, there are invoices here that I can open up and then share with you. I was recording the video in Portuguese so that I could share, so it's all scratched, but there's something interesting that I can exemplify here. So imagine that this document has a few weeks, which already does, but these scratches are just moments ago. But if by any reason in a few weeks I want to see something, or I want to undo something, I can just go here and select the rubber, and I can delete this right over here. So there are a few things that I'm not going to delete because these are my details here, address and whatnot, but there are some that I just did a few moments ago that I can show you without any issues whatsoever, and I can delete whatever I want. So I will not delete my address, and I will not delete this and this, but everything else I can delete. That one actually was made on the day that I did record this video, which was a few days. So at this moment I did delete almost everything, and I can come back here and then start doing my notes, which is awesome. I can organize my things right over here. So at this moment I can increase, I can just do this, and I can pull up I can increase the size and say, okay, this is what I want. And this was one of the things that I was mentioning. I've used tablets that when we do this, sometimes they feel it as the pen and they do a scratch, which we don't want. We want to move with our hand and then do the notes or annotation that we want, and then we can change the page that we are working and go here, for example, and I can see this and it can draw the graphic right over here. So we can do a lot. I'm not going to teach you how to draw because I don't know how to draw, but that is one thing, and for that I'm going to use a practical example. We are going to the main page of the Notes app, and if I open Star Note, we can see that it's very similar. So if I open any of the notes that I've got here, which once again they are all scribed, but I can open here. Once I select the rubber, I can just delete all this, and this is something that I will need to do even off camera because I want to save some of this data and keep it organized over month. But we can see that everything that I'm doing right over here is not permanent unless I decide if I want to close one of these as a PDF without being able to change. I can also opt to do that. So this is just one of my options. Now the example that I want to share with you, and the reason that I'm using Star Note instead of the Huawei Note app, is let's go for this page, and I'm going to do something before we go for the notes. I'm going to open the Day Cloud app, and as you can see, this is an app that we can open on our phone, and if I take a screenshot, it will take either right over here or it will take either right over here, which then I will need to stitch it, and that's not good. So I'm going to select here with my finger, not with a pen, screen capture, and I'm going to select the second option. We need to be quick so that it will capture all the screen. It doesn't matter how long the screen is, it will capture all the screen, and if I touch the button it will stop, or if it feels that it has finished it will stop as well. So at this moment I've got this big image of the whole app, which is something that I use on a regular basis. So I'm going to save this image right over here. I'm going to the Notes app, Huawei official Notes app. I'm going to create a new note, import from image. I'm going to select the image which was the last one, and I'm going to conclude, and it's going to import, and there we go. We have a new document that I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to start using my pen, and let's say that I want to do this and I want to do something like this. Now this is really cool. Let's imagine that I finished the things that I was doing for today, and I'm going to close the official Notes app. I'm going to open the Star Notes app. I'm going to create a new note right over here, import from image. I'm going to select the last image that I did create. I'm just going to import, and there we go. We have the same. There is one thing that we can notice on the Huawei Notes app. It has white sidebars, which I don't like that much, that small detail. Here we don't, but that's not the main issue. Now, if I zoom in like we did on the app, I can do something. Actually, we have a lock here. Can you see the percentage and the lock? I can decide to lock right over there, but I don't need to do that, because if I go here and if I go right over here, I can just say, okay, and let me select the pen. Okay, I want this, and I want to do this right over here, and I'm going to do my signature or something similar right over here. So this is what I want, and if I go to another note, I can close this one or leave it as it is, but let's do this one. Once I finish, usually what we do is we close the app. By some reason, we don't need the app open. Now, if I go to the official Huawei app, what happens is that if I open the image that we were working, that you remember that we left it something like this, and we closed the app, and it did revert back to how it is from the original, which is completely zoomed out. And this is not really cool if we have a lot of documents that we have prepared and left on the area that we want to show to the audience, either a teacher or student, doesn't matter. And with the original Huawei app, it reverts. But yes, and you are guessing, if I open Star Note, if we take a look, and if we open the last note that we created, chana, here we go, exactly where we left. So I did left with the amount of zoom that I don't remember. I did left here with these things that are similar to a signature, and I left it here with this. So if I close once again, and let's just close it for the sake of, and go to Star Notes, and I've tested this and I'm using this on a daily basis. So this is something important for my workflow, and that's why I'm sharing with you. If you don't know the app, it is great because it's free until 10 documents, but at this moment, if you take a look, I've purchased. You can see my name here with an R and then Pro. I did purchase. It's cheap actually, 6.5 euros, and it's a full license. I can use it for my whole life if the company still exists. Now, there is one downside that I don't really like, is that if I use it here on this device and on another device, there is a way to synchronize, but it's not a synchronization. Is I will need to update the data that I have to my Google Drive, for example, and then on the other device I will need to update from the Google Drive. And this is something that I would love to see, even if I had to pay something else extra, that the documents that I'm working right over here, exactly this one here, after a few minutes or so, they will be synced with the device, and at this moment, still not possible. And that would be really, really cool. So if someone at the Star Note comes by this video, this would be really, really cool. I've heard this is on the roadmap. When, I don't know. But this is one of the main advantages and the main reason to be using Star Note instead of the Huawei Notes, which in the future might have this tweak in terms of update on the app and might do that. But this is for today, the way that we can use the Huawei MatePad as a note-taking tablet, which is really handy, really easy, and we can write wherever we want, which most of the tablets, at least high-end tablets, has this feature, similar or not so similar, but are able to write on the screen. This one right over here works in a really, really intuitive way. Hopefully this video was helpful, and if it was, don't forget the usual thumbs up right over there, which is really appreciated on this side of the screen. My name is Roberto, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.